In this video, I'm going to go over a life lesson. In my teenage years, and that's what happens when you don't clear out phlegm and you're laying on your back, laying your kidneys flat. And that's not the life lesson. In my teenage years, one of my nephews asked me a very, very important question. Why am I so good with my younger nephew and niece? And I was so shitty of an uncle with my nephew that is only 3 years younger than me. Well, for me, he came in the world when I was about 3. By the time I was 5, I was having fucked up lessons by a really fucked up mother. I wasn't even adopted to the family probably until my nephew was, getting out of diapers or something like that. I then went to Texas. My nephew kept on developing. Meanwhile, my education stopped. Things were all fucked up, and I'm being over medicated, what's slowing me beyond my nephew. I'm watching, you know, I was doing better than my nephew. In Texas, I was probably pretty normal on development. Maybe not as good as him because he, had a normal childhood, but still. And these are just, kids that grow up in orphanages and are being moved around constantly are definitely going to have more problems than somebody that's in the same house, same parents, same thing. But there's so much more to it that with me. New Mexico, no doctors, health issues that I don't understand. I'm being lied to. I'm learning fucked up lessons. Like my mother taught me that if I like a toy more than my mother, what I really don't, it's just a shiny golden toy. It's a golden plated Pokemon card in Westford. Got it at McDonald's, but it was a really cool card and it had a cool display. I really liked it. But because I really liked this toy and my mother thought that that was not allowed, she threw it away while I was at school. I don't know what that fucked up lesson means. Now, a couple years later, right when I came back from Texas and I was a little bit older, apparently my nephew says I took this little golden plated fake gold bag of money to a Monopoly set. Well, I don't remember this, but I'm sure that ruined the game for him. Now, I did not have any interest in that gold plated money bag. It's not like I kept it on a display or it had any real value. You couldn't sell it, it wasn't real gold, it had no value whatsoever. If anything, I put it in a Monopoly case at home, but I really don't remember anything about it. I remember playing Monopoly many times. But the pieces, I guess it didn't matter to me, and if my nephew did like a piece more than me, I can see me doing that. Or if maybe I was trying to teach him that money, gold and money isn't the most important thing. Or, I learned that at an early, early age, especially in New Mexico. Money did you no good in New Mexico. Most of those kids had $1 million daddies and mommies, and trust me, they didn't do them no good. Money is not the answer. But I really wasn't a good uncle. I didn't know how to explain stuff to him. I'm age maybe 13, he's age 10, and my development has me at age 9 and him at 11, so it's more like he's ahead of me. But he expects me to be ahead of him, but I'm not. I know how to camp, I know how to find insects, I know how to deal with suffering. I know how to deal with a crazy mother hitting me, drugging me, doing awful things to me. Things that if he even gets a peek at, when my nephew even gets a peek at my mother's craziness, it scares the living shit out of her. How am I supposed to keep this person while I can make him laugh? I can be entertaining. And then when my mother is scary, at least I'm entertaining. I can be fun, positive, happy. But that's not responsible, good. That and I couldn't even control my nervous system properly, like letting go of things at the right time. Um, that's fucked up. I kept on thinking I could push my nervous system. Now, there was a time on Xanax where I was doing pretty well, but not well at nighttime and not well in the morning. And so it was only one med in the afternoon that I started noticing was helping me. Little footballs. I tried throwing a tile. He tried throwing tiles. I have hurt myself before. And I was aiming to the left up high. I was trying to get it like across the river. I thought I could get it all the way across, right? Anyway, so I went up high and I aimed way to the left. That way I wouldn't hurt anybody. No matter what I did, I could not let go of this tile on time. And I ended up just giving him a scratch. Nobody ever got seriously hurt. It's not like he has any scars. But the point is that there was something wrong because I was supposed to let that go to the left. That's what I told my body. But the signal is usually delayed, and I didn't have that problem. I started realizing at about 18 that I'm not a normal kid. Normal kids cannot play tennis barefoot. Normal kids, alcohol doesn't help them move, it makes them fall down or get problems moving. For me, on my third beer, I'm doing amazing running and walking and more than I could before. Or maybe second, third, around there. By the fourth or fifth, then it's opposite. Then I'm going backwards. Well, yeah. In the morning or long term, like the first couple hours we're talking. If you drink a lot of booze, maybe the first 2 hours you're worse, and then the third and fourth hour you're better. It depends. It really is not an accurate scale. Oh, my jaw does not want to do well either. Not my arms today. Yeah, I tried to write a phone number and some names. By the fifth one, my arms were spasming. I was not having fun. That was now at 8:31. We're not going over that. We're going over answering that question. So, he asked me why I'm so good with my nephew and niece. For one, I wasn't anything special. I just cared a lot. But I was fucked up still. The medications were giving me spins. I had very little impulse control when it came to like doing drugs or buying things. I was dizzy, falling asleep. I was taking Benadryl quite a bit for allergies and for other reasons like my nervous system and sleep. It was my go-to for sleep, nervous system, and allergies. One and all. So no, I wasn't a good uncle. I wasn't a good brother. No matter how hard I tried, I didn't get an education, so I'm not a good student. You think when I was out playing for 8 hours straight or broken up, so probably 4 hours, eat lunch, 2 hours inside, something like that. But do you think not having any teachers around and just wandering around like that in New Mexico, I was getting a good education or I was a good student? I was a student that wanted to learn. I would sit in my desk if there was a teacher to teach me, absolutely. I was probably the best student of nature. I was the only one who had interest of learning what the hell was on that mountain for trees, bugs, and everything. I was matching them all to books at the library as best as possible, and then having people read me the names and help me read the book. But that's not what other kids are getting. I wasn't able to pass on concepts. Nobody was teaching me anything. I just taught myself. Uh, I'm a self-taught person. I sucked up as much of other adults, and I had to figure out what adults were full of shit and who not to listen to. Don't listen to the neighbor kids. Don't listen to most of the neighbor adults except for the father. My mother, I thought I should listen to her, but then I realized, oh my god, if I do that, I'm gonna keep getting in trouble. No, my mother is fucking nuts. And then things got better when I stopped listening to my mother and I realized, oh, she's wrong. But then I had to realize, oh, she's even wrong about nursing, doctor stuff, medications. I do need to know the side effects. Oh shit, fuck, fuck, fuck. The more I talked to doctors, the more I realized what was going on. Um, I mean, these PTSD memories and the things my mother did and the things she said and the things she gave me and the pharmacy records and the medication records and the medications I was on and the places I was at for such little things like burning a slug make things worse. It makes things much worse, and it makes things harder on me with the past I have. It wasn't like things got easier on me after New Mexico. It's not like things got easier on me after that overdose in Westward. It's not like things got easier on me when I told the doctor that something had happened to me. No, no, no. And that's not an excuse. I am a good person today that would never make the decisions I did back then, like drinking in front of my nephew, 3 years younger than me, to try to help a neurological disorder that I don't know what to call that. I call it taking a sip and climbing a tree to see if my legs are better and see if I can do something like cut off a branch. All I said was, I want to see if I can do something. Climb this tree and cut that branch. He's like, why? Because I want to see if I can do it. And I couldn't. You're supposed to wait for the alcohol to kick in, and one sip isn't enough. That's the lesson I learned that day. And don't climb trees with knives. The knife isn't what got me, it was a tree branch, because it was a scratch mark that got me with the tree branch, not the knife, or it would be a slice. I also learned that later. Slicing and scratches from trees are very different. The fall from a tree is all that it takes to give you a good gash, but it gives a different type of mark. So I've learned a lot of lessons from nature and life, but nobody's going around telling me how to do these things. The only lesson that I probably got from telling me was do not smoke, do not do drugs. But drinking 5 martinis is no big deal. And taking an Ativan drugs, taking my son's Percocet, my son's Vicodin or my husband's Percocet, none of that counts. So, oh, and giving your best friend some mood stabilizers is okie dokie, your mother says. So, I had to realize that those were fucked up lessons. No, none of those things are fucking okay. Keep that in your mind. And that's why I teach now. First, do no harm, safety, and the lessons I've learned from my life.